Hello pals, Protocol here with Protopal Gaming. Welcome to my video on Mythic Ra-den raid mechanics and execution from a Warlock point of view. First I will explain the fight mechanics, and then you will see a video of our actual execution of the fight from my Warlock's point of view, along with a map of movement and abilities while I explain how we execute the fight. Before we dive into this Ra-den kill, I wanted to preface this video by saying that this is my first video with voiceover, so please go easy on me. And also, this is one of my first mythic progression kills on a DPS, which happens to be my Warlock, as I am normally on a healing class. Anyway, let's get on with the explanation of the mechanics. For our mythic Ra-den kill, we use 2 tanks, 3 healers, and 15 DPS because of the tight DPS check of the fight. One of the biggest mechanical differences of this fight is that 3 orbs will spawn instead of 2. The orbs you do not kill will define which mechanics you have to deal with. Each orb not killed will spawn an add, which needs to be killed and adds abilities to the fight. The 3 orbs are Void, Vita, and Nightmare. If you leave the Void orb alive, then 1 melee DPS needs to soak a blue Void pool that appears on the ground. The pool will then appear at another location in the direction the raider is facing when the pool despawns. This will repeat 5 times like most abilities in the raid encounter. Upon soaking a void pool, the raider is given a debuff that will not allow them to soak another pool until the next set of orbs spawn, so melee DPS need to have a soaking order assigned. If you leave the Vita orb alive, then ranged DPS will need to handle the Vita ability. One raider is initially chosen with a debuff that will then jump to the furthest raider from their location when the debuff expires. We handle this ability by having 2 preset markers. One for the first raider selected to stand on, and one for next ranged DPS to have Vita jump to. Once the debuff expires on the first raider, the second raider remains, and the third ranged DPS takes the first selected raider's spot, and so on until all 5 jumps have occurred. Have a predefined list of ranged DPS with a soak order set to handle this. If you leave the Nightmare Orb alive, then 2 raiders will be randomly targeted with a Dread Tornado that will chase them and deal moderate damage to anyone standing in the tornado. Leaving the Nightmare Orb alive also causes a random raider to be selected with a Nightmare debuff that creates a huge ring around the debuffed raider. That raider must get out of the raid, and the next closest raider to the Nightmare debuffed raider will get the debuff when it expires on the previous raider. To handle these abilities, we simply have the raiders affected with the Dread Infernal run away from the raid, but not far enough away to get targeted by a Vita ability if it is also active, and to have a set soak order after the first raider affected by Nightmare is selected. We also had set stack points for the raider affected with Nightmare to run to, so the next raider to soak the ability knows where to be. A lot of groups prefer to move Ra-den while dealing with the various mechanics, but for the most part, our guild kept Ra-den near the middle of the room, unless we needed to move him to have more time to down one of the orbs. Here you see the map of the room and us executing the beginning of the pull, bringing Ra-den first to the stairs, giving us time to DPS him until the orbs spawn. Once the Nightmare orb spawns, we immediately switch onto it and DPS it down. Initial Vita moves to his yellow stacking point, while Vita 1 moves to the orange stacking point. Vita 2 moves to yellow stacking point, while initial Vita moves to group. Vita 3 moves to orange, while Vita 1 moves to group. Vita 4 moves to yellow, while Vita 2 moves to group. Vita 5 moves to orange, while Vita 3 moves to group. At this point, all the Vita charges for Orb Set 1 have been handled. The Vita assigned DPS can concentrate on killing the Void Hunter and Crackling Stalker adds.
4, 3, 2, 1.
During the Vita jumps, DPS are also handling the Void Pool ability, which cannot be seen well on the map but are easily visible in the actual footage of our pull. Some bad RNG happens here, and our first assigned DPS to soak the Void Pool also gets selected first as initial Vita. Fortunately for us, our rogue is very skilled and uses smart positioning to handle both abilities at the same time, sending the second Void Pool just behind Ra-den by facing that direction when the Void Pool expires. Void Pool Soak 2 sends the pool in front of Ra-den.
Come on, get that ad in.
Void Pool Soak 3 sends the pool back behind Ra-den. Void Pool Soak 4 sends the pool in front of Ra-den. The final Void Pool Soak direction does not matter.
Good job.
Once all the Void
Crackling
Pools have been
Stalker down,
soaked,
let's
DPS focuses the Void Hunter and Crackling Stalker adds down, then
Stop
focuses
everyone off, hit
Ra-den
Ra-den,
until
hit
the
Ra-den.
next set of orbs appear.
Healers hit Ra-den. Do something.
4, 3,
Any little damage.
On the second set of orbs, we killed the Void Orb in the back left of the room, spawning the Crackling Stalker and Night Terror adds. This means that during this set of orbs, we had to bounce Nightmare, dodge Dread Infernals, and handle Vita soaks while killing adds, and cleaving Ra-den. The important mechanic to remember here is the Nightmare soaks cannot be spread further than the Vita soaks. The soaking timers are slightly offset. Nightmare happens first and the initial Raider moves to the stacking point at the stairs. Second Nightmare soak moves to the stacking point behind Ra-den. Initial Vita moves to stacking point yellow, while Vita 1 is waiting at the orange stacking point. Third Nightmare soak moves to stacking point behind Ra-den. Vita 2 moves to orange stack point, while initial Vita moves to group. Fourth Nightmare soak moves to stacking point behind Ra-den. Vita 3 moves to yellow, while Vita 1 moves to group. Fifth Nightmare soak moves to stacking point behind Ra-den. Vita 4 moves to orange, while Vita 2 moves to group. Vita 5 moves to yellow, while Vita 3 moves to group.
Any little damage.
1.
Spread. Take Nightmare to the stairs. Catman star. And someone will have to take over for him in the rotation. Dab.
Blink.
Crackling Stalker, let's go.
Oh. Good job, Drew. Where's other?
Kill the Crackling Stalker, come on, come on.
5, 4, 3,
Night Terror, hit the Night Terror, go, go, go.
1.
Start spreading.
Start spread.
On the third set of orbs, we killed the Vita orb in the back right of the room, spawning the Void Hunter and Night Terror adds. In this phase, however, we ignore the adds and push Ra-den into his final stage by bringing his health to 40%. While entering his final stage, Ra-den begins casting a spell which then gives us time to kill the Void Hunter and Night Terror adds, while dealing with bouncing the Nightmare debuff on the stair side of the room, soaking Void Pools on the opposite side of the room, and dodging Dread Infernal Tornadoes. After the adds are dead, we begin the final phase mechanics.
Essence of Vita. Stay spread. Nightmare to the stairs. Somebody get the first catch. Get the first catch. You got second, Tim? Point it towards me. Hit Ra-den, guys. Hit Ra-den.
I'm going back where Tim was. Send it
Okay,
to me.
I'm pointing it back. I'm pointing it back.
I got this one. I'm gonna send it right back to where Flip just was.
Hit Ra-den, guys. 7%. 7%. Go, go, go. Hit Ra-den. Hit Ra-den.
5,
Think about what defenses you can use and win.
2,
Go, 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 go.
Kill ads, kill ads, kill ads.
Kill the ads. Kill the ads. He's phasing. Kill the ads. Cooldowns. Anything you got. Cooldowns. Hit
In his
Ra-den.
final stage, Ra-den will no longer spawn orbs to kill,
Everyone
but
spread out.
instead
Don't
will
heal
use a
whatever.
chain ability on
Don't heal
raiders
Rat,
that
don't
must
heal
then
Goat.
separate from each other to break the chain ability or else suffer severe ticking damage.
Big heals on Ny'alotha.
In addition to this, he will summon purple void eruption pools on the floor that deal a large amount of damage to anyone inside when they despawn. The last ability of this phase is that you will randomly debuff raiders with corrupted
back,
existence,
come
and
on,
if they are
DPS.
healed to full within the 15-second debuff, they will instantly die.
Potion. Don't heal Winnow.
Come on, DPS, let's go. It's a race. Go heal Wilda, Zax, and Wainua. Come on, guys. Stop with me, go heal me. Heal me, heal me, give me a heal.
Come on, boys,
Keep
go,
your
go,
blood,
go.
Let's go, let's go.
There's a Brez up.
Don't take that, don't take that. Alright, take it, go, go, go. Burn him.
Go, go, go. Let's
Come on,
freaking
go, go, go. Yeah! There it is!
Where's the cowbell?
Yes! Come on!
Let's go.